Goodbye, darlings, or rather, hello and welcome to the Goodbye, Darling podcast. Today we're doing a little casual episode, okay? We're getting comfy. We're getting raw. We're getting unfiltered. Welcome. Let's get into talking. This is going to be a yap episode for sure.
Hey man, how the hell you doing? I've been just fine living life with the news.
Okay, so buckle up, okay? Buckle up, bitches. Get ready for a yap of an episode. It's going to be a lot that I'm going to talk about today. The scheme of this podcast has consistently been blank is annoying, right? And I yap about that thing being annoying, why I find it annoying, or the parts of that thing that I find annoying, not necessarily the fact that I find the entirety of that thing annoying, right? So today I'm going to be yapping about a lot of things. And so we're probably going to call this something along the lines of life updates are annoying. And I'm just going to talk about my life. I don't know. This is not going to fit the traditional scheme of the podcast. So if you're a new listener, please know that my typical podcast episodes are slightly different from this. And if you are, a returning listener, welcome back. Thank you for being here. So let's recap this past month, shall we? So last month, about 2-3 weeks ago from when I'm recording this, which is honestly not far from when this is being uploaded. I think I'm uploading this like tomorrow. We cut it pretty close with recording this month, which I don't normally do when it comes to the podcast. Normally I record it a week minimum in advance. I think the closest before this I've recorded in advance has been like maybe 4 days in advance. I like a little bit of buffer time with most of my content, and that includes the podcast. But the reason why we're cutting it closer this month is because of a couple reasons. So as I was about to say, about 3 weeks ago, I went to Japan. I was in Japan for 2 weeks. It was absolutely amazing. It was gorgeous. It was such a fun experience. I'm excited to be home. There's some really fun stuff that I'm working on that I am just stoked to be able to work on at home in my environment and kind of be back in my schedule. I am a homebody at heart, but I love traveling. So, it's a careful balance, I'd say, of travel time to being in my normal routine and letting myself kind of have that normalcy. So I'm happy to be home, but I had a phenomenal time in Japan. It was amazing. We mainly were just in the Tokyo area, which there's so many subsections of Tokyo that it felt like we were in 15 different cities while we were there. We walked around so many different subsections of Tokyo, all feeling so unique and like they all had their own subculture, which is crazy because we were in one city the whole time. If we go back / when we go back, because we would love to go back, we do plan to maybe do a winter trip and go to Hokkaido, probably the Sapporo area. And then I also want to do a trip to Okinawa eventually as well, but that's besides the point. If we're fortunate, lucky enough, to go back, that would be amazing. And we want to diversify with where we've been on later trips, but we had such a good time. It's a 13-hour time difference from EST, which is what I currently live in, what I've lived in my entire life. I've lived in EST. And so trips are always a little fun, a little funky on time zone wise. Typically, the biggest time change I had done before the Japan trip was a 4-hour time difference because I went to California. That's 4 hours, right? Is it 3 hours? I always mix it up. And I do know that it depends on the time of year with some parts in PST because daylight savings or something. I don't know. There's a whole, it confuses me. But I went to Arizona, which is Is Arizona MST or PST? It's MST, right? So that'd been 3 hours. Yes. I think that's the biggest time difference I've ever experienced, which felt crazy to me, which felt like such a big time difference. I mean, I was like a teenager when I went. It felt like such a big time difference to me because I'd wake up at like 6 a.m. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a morning person now because it felt like fucking 9 or whatever. I think it was a 3 hour time difference in MST. I'm pretty sure. I think Arizona has 2 time zones, but I could be wrong. Like part of Arizona doesn't do daylight savings, part of Arizona does. There was a point in time when we crossed a time zone line while in Arizona, which confused me a lot. But I mean, Florida has 2 time zones too. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Florida has, which is where I live, is Florida. Florida has 2 time zones. Like the Pensacola area is PST, the very like the taint of Florida is in PST, which is like right on the border of like, oh, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, that area, right? People forget that. People don't know that. Some people do. Like some people know that because they've been to that area, right? But like, I feel like it's forgotten about sometimes. But that was like a frequent time change I would make, is to, what would that be, CST? I'd been in CST a lot, especially when me and my now fiance, then boyfriend, were dating. We were long distance for 2.5 years, and it sucked. And it sucked. No, it was hard, but we did it, got through it, and now we are thriving, right? And now we've been living together for I think longer than we were long distance, which is crazy because long distance felt so much longer than we've lived together. But that's just because it was so much harder, right? If life's easier, you're not focusing on how long it's taking, right? That's the whole saying, life flies when you're having fun, or time flies when you're having fun. That's the saying. So it feels crazy that we've lived together now for longer than we were long distance. I'm pretty sure we have lived together now for like 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. I don't know. I'm not going to do the math on that, but we've lived together for a while. And we're engaged, which is fun. But we were long distance, and so he lived in CST, so I went to CST a lot to visit him. One of my best friends lives in CST. A lot of my friends actually live in CST now that I'm thinking about it. And then I have a handful of friends in PST. I have friends in EST. I have friends in GMT, right? Is that what it's called? The time zone in the UK, I think, is GMT. I could totally be wrong. It's like Greenwich Standard Time. I could be pulling that out of my ass right now, but I'm pretty sure it's GMT. But I have friends kind of all over. I have friends in Australia. I have friends all over the world, which I'm so lucky to be able to say that. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of what's the word? Desensitized to how cool that is, because it's happened since I was a teen. Since I was a tween, actually, is probably more accurate, that I met my first international friend online. I've always been an online kid. And now I'm an online adult. And now I've graduated to online adulthood. Far less scary, I will say, because way less pedophiles are trying to talk to you. I have stories. Okay, I have stories. But we're not going to get into that right now. We're going to finish our first train of thought here. I was in Japan, and it was a 13-hour time difference. which was crazy. So basically, it was the inverse of what EST is. So I think if I do, I have my phone on? No, it's over on my desk. I was gonna look up the time in Japan right now. Hold on. Hold on. We're doing it on the good old iPad. Time in Japan right now. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure because I fuck it up sometimes because I had to do it the opposite way when we were in Japan, because you basically just take the time that is currently and you add an hour, but then inverse. So if it's PM, you make it AM, or AM, you make it PM. But when I was there, I got so used to doing the opposite where I would take away an hour. So sometimes I fuck it up. So I wanted to look it up just to be safe. So yeah, it is right now 2:11 p.m. EST where I am. And it's 3:11 a.m. GMT plus 9. I don't know what the actual, is it JST? Yes, Japanese Standard Time, JST. Which is crazy. So we adjusted pretty well. I'm actually editing a vlog currently. I haven't gotten too much into it, but I think it's on my schedule that I'm going to start editing that more hands-on, and not just like sifting through footage and stuff. Next week, I believe, I start editing that more. There's a vlog that's going to come out on my vlogging channel, Izzie Annalisa. If you haven't checked it out, I feel like if you enjoy my podcasts, you would love my vlogging channel. If you enjoy my audios and you want to know more about me, you'd love my vlogging channel. So I'm doing a video basically talking about us as in me and my fiance, trying to prevent having jet lag. So we did like a bunch of stuff to try and prevent feeling super jet lagged, and we did really good on the way there. Like minor spoilers, right? We did pretty good on the way there. I won't share the details because that'll be in the vlog, but which you should go watch. Just saying. But on the way back, I did not make a vlog of doing the way back. And I think that had me have less accountability, I will say. And it kind of, the first week being back felt a little like a fever dream. We went from, our schedule in Japan was a lot of the time we woke up at like 5 a.m., which is like super early, but that's 4 p.m. here, right? So we would sleep in super late, like in EST. We'd wake up at like 5 a.m., and then we'd go to sleep at like, on a good day where we tried to stay up, we would go to bed around like 9. But realistically, we were passing out sometimes while like chilling in the hotel room after dinner at like 7. If we didn't want to like do something after dinner and we just went back to the hotel room, we were probably going to conk out kind of early, which is fine. And we still experienced like everything we planned to. Once we got there, we kind of created our little like expectations of what the trip was going to be, based on how we felt in Japan actually being there, because it was our first trip. And I'm excited to be more adventurous next time, because then we've been there before. We kind of have our footing, if you will, a little bit better. But coming back, there was about a week period that was a little like, oh goodness, where some days were pretty good, but some days not so much. We also had a 12-hour layover in Toronto, so we had to book a hotel. And so we tried really hard to make it where because it was overnight, to make it where, and Toronto's in EST as well, to make it where we were so tired when we got to the Toronto hotel that we conked out. And we did that. We accomplished that. But we were so tired. And we had a flight the next morning at, I think it was like a 7 a.m. flight or something like that. I don't remember. And so like when we got back to the hotel room, we had like 12 hours. We probably had like 11 hours actually, realistically, after navigating to the hotel, leaving the airport, going on a monorail to the airport, leaving like the past security side of the airport, past customs side of the airport, leaving that side and going like on a monorail to another terminal in the airport to stay at the hotel. Beautiful hotel, expensive, but it was beautiful. And they did not reimburse us for the hotel, by the way, because our flight got canceled. That's why we had a 12-hour layover. This was not a choice. Our flight got canceled. Thankfully we had like a week or two heads up. I don't actually remember how far in advance we had a heads up. It was probably a month, actually. We had like a month heads up that our flight got canceled, and so they were like, oh, you gotta go on here's the next flight, sorry. And so that's why we had an overnight layover. But honestly, hey, it worked out fine. And honestly, I'm kind of glad we were able, it was a blessing in disguise, right? Because we were able to sleep. Because I live like a little bits away from the airport we were flying into in Florida. Not crazy, just a little drive, and not the type of drive you want to do on 2 hours of sleep. You don't want to do any drive on 2 hours of sleep. So we got like a pretty good, decent full night's sleep. We woke up around like 4 a.m., which was like the best we could do, like the latest we could sleep in without our bodies being like, yo, it's 3 p.m. or some shit, whatever time it actually would have been like 5 p.m. in Japan or something like that. So we got on our next plane. It was like just a few hours, and then we were in Florida again, which was nice. And like I had like my car again, which is nice. And we did pretty good. We got back home. We ended up going to sleep at like, I want to say like 6:30 p.m. that night though, because we were just so exhausted from over 24 hours of traveling, because we just had been on a 13-hour flight, and then we had a 12-hour layover, and then multiple hours in airports, like in between, and then it was like a 3-hour flight back to Florida or something from Toronto. And it was just a lot. But we conked out, and then we woke up at like 3 a.m. the next morning, I want to say. So that kind of, I'd rather that direction be jet lagged, right? I'd rather go to sleep really early and wake up super early than sleep in super late and stay up super late, because for me, I can always go to sleep, right? But I struggle to wake up. So if I'm naturally waking up before midday, that's better to me than naturally waking up after midday. And so the fact I was waking up, so early though, made me super tired at night. So that was a little rough, but we figured it out. After a couple days, excuse me, burped there. After a couple days, we kind of found our footing, and we're back on our typical schedule. But our schedule still is kind of weird now. Like, our bodies definitely don't know what the fuck's happening. And they're like kind of like ready to, anytime that we want them to like click into another mode, right? Click into another time zone, which is not fun. Which isn't fun. We're tired a lot. But it's just because we kind of, we have days where like, okay, we feel totally back to normal. We feel totally fine. But then we have other days where it's like, ooh, we did not sleep great last night. Our body's a little confused still. I don't know if I should blame jet lag for that. It's been actually, okay, it's been a week and 3 days, not 3 weeks. I don't know why I said 3 weeks. It's been a week and 3 days since we were, or 2 days. What's today? 3 days. A week and 3 days since we got back from all of our flights, right? Ooh. And we're still feeling it a little bit. But that first full week was the adjustment period. I'd say the first weekend was the hardest because we got back on like a Thursday. So that Friday, Saturday, Sunday was like wild. We did that strategically though, because then we could, take time off up until Sunday. I started working on that Saturday though. I actually started working on Friday. I started working the day we got back. I started working the day after we got back. But I just love my job so much. It was like fun work, right? It wasn't like work. It was fun work. And also, something crazy happened while we were gone that I kind of want to talk about. A video. So I have a gaming channel, for those who don't know. And my gaming channel is like my baby, right? My gaming channel is definitely the channel that has been in my possession for the longest. It is my child. It has been with me through highs, through lows, through roundabouts, through everything. And that channel is Izumi. I chose the name when I was 11. So that's why I have a Japanese name, even though I am not Japanese. I just really liked the name. But instead of, my face being Izumi, I thought Izzie was probably a little bit more fitting. So I tweaked that with time. But on like this channel, aka Izumi Audio, and on my gaming channel, I still go by Izumi because I do love the name Izumi. I think that it is a very beautiful name, and it has such sentimental value to me now. So that's that. But on Izumi, I just do her for fun. She makes me, or made me, I should say, she made me the lowest income out of like all my channels, pretty much. She, she's fun. She's a hobby. I do like, ooh, excuse me. I accidentally scratched a part of the microphone with my ring. I do Minecraft content. I want to get more into Sim stuff. I stream. I tell stories in video games primarily is kind of the main thing I do. Because I love telling stories. And so that was kind of a medium that I could do when I was younger. And then I just got really good at it. Not to toot my own horn or anything, not to get a big head or anything, no. I got good at certain things, and I'm proud of myself about that. And I still have a long ways to go in other regards, though, when it comes to MCTV series, which is what I call them, and what some other people call them. Some people call them Minecraft role plays, which is also fine. You can call them whatever you like. I like all the names. I call it a Minecraft roleplay sometimes. I call it MCTV. I flip-flop. I like them all. But Minecraft Machinima, that's a fun one. But Machinima is fancy sounding, I will say. I do really like the name Machinima, but it just didn't really get as much traction, sadly. From a name standpoint, didn't get as much traction, sadly. Didn't catch on. But a video over there, because my typical video did like 1,000 to 5,000 views. That was like a good video. Some of them didn't even hit 1,000. My last video, which was a movie version of one of my series, aka a like compilation basically of all the episodes without the theme song in them. It is almost to 100,000 views. Huh? What? Guys, what's going on? Who are you? Literally, I'm in shock. I don't know how to react to this. Especially because like childhood me would be like, be mean ear to ear, right? I'm in shock, and the amount of people that have not only just seen the movie but also have been commenting, like there's like 700 comments or something on it right now. So many likes, like it's crazy. So many people have been joining my Discord over there because I have like a gaming Discord. And the community, like I streamed the Saturday after I got back in town and I hit 100 viewers. For reference, my typical streams over there, a good stream would hit 20 to 25 viewers. My max before this on any channel, I think, was 50. My max on there was probably like 40. Okay. I hit 100. And that's crazy. That is crazy. I'm like, I don't know how to react to it. Like, it makes me so giddy and so happy and proud that people, I'm like honored that people like the thing I made. Because I've had videos do so many more views than that on this channel, right? And I'm so grateful for that, and that is crazy too. But this genre is just much more rich with that type of viewage, if that makes sense. Meanwhile, the Minecraft role plays are very much, they have, in a lot of people's opinion, died out. And they've kind of been getting revived recently, and with like the Minecraft movie coming out, I think also helped. And the video just did really good. And not just like a lot of people saw it, but a lot of people loved it. And it's a sapphic series, by the way, for those who don't know. It's called Internet Crush. Basically, Izumi, the main character, because it is the Izumi verse is kind of what I call it. A lot of my series have a character named Izumi as the main character. Not all of them though. Some of them are completely just like everyone's an original character, but I voice act someone. But Izumi Aisaka, to be specific, because it's a very specific version of my OC, right? Izumi Aisaka is a massive fan of this streamer called Kenji Cat. She's always getting like picked on, but like in a loving way, by her friends, her online friends Lee and Brianna, and her IRL friend Denki. She's nerdy and she doesn't really feel like she has anyone besides Denki in person that kind of gets that, and doesn't judge her for it. She's bullied in school, and she finds a lot of comfort from it's her comfort streamer, and she also has a crush on her. Well, this streamer ends up going to her high school and moving next door to her, and it kind of follows her internet crush becoming a person she sees every day, and the kind of chaos that ensues from there. There's some really talented voice actors a part of the cast of this, some of which are my very close friends, and I'm so appreciative of them being a part of the project. I have very talented friends, and I'm very grateful for that. And I saw this series when I first started making it. There's a lot of lore when it comes to this series, because I originally started making it when I was 14, but then I just never finished it. But I'm talking more when I actually made it into what it is today, because it is different than it originally was, right? Some of the scenes are pretty similar, but like the overall vibe is different. The time that I started, like around the time I started making Internet Crush, oh God, I have like burp hiccups. I'm sorry if you can hear them. I kind of had this feeling that it was gonna be something, right? Like this want, this like desire, but also this like I got a good feeling about it. I imagined going to VidCon and doing like a panel with the voice actors. I imagine having like a booth or something at like SuperCon or like MegaCon or like one of these conventions like I've been to, you know, or like Comic-Con, and having maybe like a comic book or rather like a manga version of the series, a visual novel, but not the game type. What is it called? A graphic novel of the series, you know, as well, and these characters being like brought to life in so many ways. And I just thought these characters, this story, this world, it has something special to it. I don't know what it is, and I just really want to emphasize that. And it saw some good traction when it originally came out. I think it came out 2 years ago, because I posted the movie on the 2-year anniversary. It came out 2 years ago, and it was airing bi-weekly for I aired the pilot, the first episode, and it took a second to take off, but then it took off after a couple months, and that's when I posted the second episode. And then I started posting bi-weekly somewhere, you know, in that kind of range after the first couple episodes. So I was posting every other week an episode. And I was also streaming, like building the sets pretty often. And it saw some pretty good traction. It wasn't crazy by any means, but it was by far the most traction I had seen on the channel since my childhood, right? And I was really happy people enjoyed the series. But that there was that voice of like, it didn't grow as big as I thought it was going to, though. But I had hope still. I was like, somehow people will find this, because it is something that is very special to me, and I think it could be very special to others. It healed a part of me that as a child was hurt by the fact that I didn't see representation of sapphic relationships in Minecraft roleplays or in media really in general around that time. A lot of it was very queerbaity. A lot of it was not authentic. A lot of it was toxic relationships kind of being perpetuated. And so I was really hoping just that some people would find it and at least get that from it, right? Get that kind of healing feeling that I got through making it. And so I released the finale, because I had to take a little step away mental health. My mental health wasn't like too bad, but it was more of I was focusing so much on it and it wasn't making me good money, and I needed to focus more on what did, which hurt my creative side, but it is what it is, and I'm young and I have so many years to pursue my passions and my dreams, and I don't think that just because I have to put something on the back burner doesn't mean that it's dead, doesn't mean that it's gone, but I had to put it on the back burner for a hot second. And I came back to it after a couple months, and I posted I posted like the second to finale, and then a couple months later I posted the finale, I think is how it went. I could totally be wrong though, and there's probably someone that's going to correct me in the comments if my internet crush girlies find this. But then the finale was posted, and I was like, okay, I'd love to do a season 2, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I want to really bad. Like the main story finished in one season, but it wasn't like, there were still some things I wanted to expand on that happened in season 1, and some unanswered questions that I wanted to answer. And so I wanted to do a season 2, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to. I didn't know if that was in the cards for me. With how little I was able to focus on it. I was focusing more on, in my free time, just writing in general, not necessarily turn it into any sort of web series. And then I was going to post I don't even know what I was going to post originally. I was going to post something completely different originally as the anniversary gift. I don't even remember what it was going to be. Oh, it was going to be like a lo-fi, like Internet Crush lo-fi, like Pomodoro type deal, which I think would still be fun to do. Maybe I could get someone to do like a little animated loop, kind of like Lo-Fi Girl. And I could probably work with Amy, who helped produce or did produce, I guess I should say, like 99%. I did some stuff at the very end, but like they did literally 99% of the work for the Internet Crush song that was in the finale. And maybe I could, still do that, but I was originally going to post that and I did not like it. Like I didn't like it. So it wasn't like Internet Crush lo-fi. It wasn't like actually Internet Crush lo-fi. It was just like lo-fi in the Internet Crush world, kind of ambient. And I had like rain and like rain sound effects and stuff. And I just like wasn't feeling it. I was like, this feels cash grabby and I don't like it. It felt very like, here's something. So instead, I didn't know what else to do. It was literally like the day before we left on the trip, bro. Because we left on the 18th of March, I think. Or the 19th of March. One of the two. We left like the next day. And I didn't know what I was like, I have to do something for the 2-year anniversary of Internet Crush. Like I feel like I don't want to just not do anything. Like I love this series and I feel bad not celebrating it. So I was like, well, compilation, like movies of series, they do okay. And like I've done some in the past and they did pretty good. And I know as someone who, binge watches series and stuff, I'd like a movie version of, a series that I really liked for like the whole season. And so I edited it into a movie version and edited out all the theme songs. I actually missed one. So there's one theme song in there. And then I added the theme song into the end so that they still got that vibe. And added my end screen. I also edited out the end screens of the stuff. And I also missed one. I should go back and fix that. But I was doing it literally like the day before we were leaving on this trip, and it was very last minute. Didn't expect it to blow up like it did. And I scheduled it for the 25th of March, which is the anniversary of the show coming out. So I'm in Japan, living my best life, and it was towards the end of the trip. It was like the very end of March. Like the series, the movie had been out for a couple days at that point. And it was like right after, like the third day is when it picked up. Like it was already growing like pretty well. But then after like the third or fourth day, like really grew. And suddenly it was at like 50K. And that's when I saw it and I was like, huh? Oh my God. And I was just like I was so like in shock. I didn't know how to react. I was in awe of people just enjoying. I'm gonna cry, bro. Enjoying something I worked so hard on and something that had been in the works since I was 14. That I knew people would like it if they just saw it. I don't want to get sappy on the podcast. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I have prescription glasses now, by the way. I got those in Japan. pivoting the conversation really quickly. Yeah, I got them in gins. It was so easy and nice. I didn't realize how bad my eyesight was. I can't see shit if you're like more than 5 feet in front of me. I'm realizing, like, I can see the vague outline, but like not well. And now it's worse because I'm tearing up, guys. But I was like just really proud of myself and for little Izzie for not giving up. Even when she stepped away for a hot second when I was like 15, I had to step away for mental health because my mental health actually was not good. 15 and 16, I didn't do anything, and it was really weird because I hadn't not done it. I hadn't not made content in some way, shape, or form since I was 8 years old. And even then, before then, I did dance. Like, I've always been a performer, an entertainer, a creative. I've always written. Like, I've been writing since before I can remember. Like, I've been telling stories since before I can remember. It's something so ingrained in my bones and something I love so much. I know I'm not perfect at it, and I know there's so many ways I can improve, but I've been acting, storytelling, and entertaining my entire life. And it's something that I am so passionate about and love so much. And it's been my dream job since I was born. Like, I kid you not, I was performing on my coffee table like it was a stage when I was 2, you know? There's photos of it. It's crazy. And I know I'm not there yet, you know? But I'm so much closer than I've ever been. I'm pretty sure we're getting to the mark where I'm supposed to switch over to Patreon. So I'll wrap this up. But basically, my video is now almost at 100,000 views. And that's insane to me. And it's something I'm so passionate about. And it's garnered such a community, not just views. It's not the views. And financially, it's also helped me so much. That video, I don't know if it's the length. I don't know if it's the amount of interaction I've gotten from it. But it's doing really well from a financial standpoint as well. It actually, that one video has made me more this month than the entirety of all the videos I posted this past 30 days on Izumi Audio. Which, that's why I'm like, I don't know how it happened, but that also happened. And it feels like such a I manifested this type of moment, and I don't know why or how it happened, but all I can do is thank you guys for, you know, being here and listening and being a part of this journey. And I love what I do. I love every aspect of what I do, even the things that aren't necessarily my favorite things to do. I love it because it is contributing to the things I'm passionate about in some way, shape, or form. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Patreon. If you didn't know, I do extended episodes over on the Patreon. There's no pressure or anything, but if you'd like to listen to them, go check it out. I also do semi-spicy audios over there, and I post every audio that I post on YouTube completely ad-free over there as well. So go check it out if that's something you'd be interested in. Anyways, let's go over to the Patreon.